On this episode of China Uncensored, communism killed the radio star. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your radio star, Chris Chappell. So guys, at the end of this episode, there's a call to action that will let you actually have a big impact on China. So get excited. I'm counting on you. Now, imagine you're a lone rights activist in China, someone like Chen Guangchen. You're constantly harassed by authorities, threats are made to your family, and your only access to news from the outside world, instead of state-run media propaganda, is to try and break through the internet blockade or catch radio signal broadcasts coming from outside of China. Imagine what that must feel like to finally hear some uncensored information when you've been isolated by a horribly corrupt, murdering authoritarian regime. I'm sure you can also imagine that that same regime would be pretty eager to permanently shut down that kind of broadcast. But what's hard to imagine is why a radio broadcaster that was created specifically to broadcast uncensored information into China would go out of its way to stop the flow of uncensored information into China. Radio Taiwan International has some of the most powerful shortwave towers in the world, built specifically to send uncensored information into mainland China. Major broadcasters like Radio Free Asia and Sound of Hope Radio have used these towers to reach hundreds of millions of people inside China. It's so inspiring, except now they're being torn down by Radio Taiwan International. Why? I don't know. RTI refused to discuss the decision. US congressmen have even written to them asking them not to do it, but have been ignored. Now you might be wondering, why should the US have any say in the matter? Well, that's because several of those radio towers were paid for and built by the US military back in the 70s. You see, China's Communist Party kind of wants to devour Taiwan. They consider it a breakaway province, and the only reason they never invaded was because the US has been giving support and supplying military hardware to the island, like building radio towers. Now, the crazy thing is how zealous RTI is about destroying the towers. RTI's mission statement when it was started was, quote, "spread freedom and democracy to China," and the towers were built to do just that. But their mission recently changed to market and promote Taiwan, which they can do through the internet. So fine, they don't want to use the towers anymore, but why bulldoze them? Originally, they were only going to be decommissioned at the end of the year, and while they could have just ceased operation, they specifically wanted to destroy those towers so no one could use them. Again, they're some of the most powerful shortwave radio towers in the world. Not only that, but RTI President Yulong Li even personally ordered the destruction and went to Tainan to oversee it. That's at the other end of Taiwan, a long way to go just to watch some towers get knocked down. So why is this happening? Well, as I mentioned, the Chinese regime wants to devour Taiwan. To achieve this, they've been systematically isolating the islands for years. The Chinese regime's policy is that if you want any relationship with them, you cannot recognize Taiwan, formerly known as the Republic of China, as a sovereign nation. If on the off chance you go ahead and recognize Taiwan anyway, since China is a permanent member of the UN Security Council, it can use its veto power to block or threaten to block UN peacekeeping operations, as it did in Haiti in '96, Guatemala in '97, and Macedonia in '99. Macedonia has since severed diplomatic ties with Taiwan. On the flip side, a lot of Taiwanese citizens are concerned that their current government is beginning to sacrifice the best interests of Taiwan in exchange for closer ties with the Chinese regime. Things like, I don't know, destroying radio towers that the Chinese regime might not approve. Ironically, the first radio tower was torn down on July 1st, the anniversary of the return of Hong Kong from British rule to China, and also the anniversary of the founding of the Chinese Communist Party. I don't know, maybe the guys over at RTI are hoping Taiwan will find itself under mainland rule soon. So why did RTI decide to destroy the towers when they were originally only supposed to be decommissioned at the end of the year? And why are they so secretive about it? Are they bowing to pressure from the Chinese regime? But this doesn't have to be the end of the story. There are around 28 of these radio towers, and only one has been destroyed so far. So what you can do, if you care about uncensored information getting to China, a China Uncensored, if you will, is call Ambassador Pu Tsung-king at the Taipei Economic and Culture Representative Office in D.C. and ask for RTI to stop demolishing these radio towers. Thanks for watching another China Uncensored. As always, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook for more. And check back tomorrow for more new episodes.